broken system, chained and tangled up in lies. Voices shouting, screaming in defeat. Politicians playing games under darkened skies. Hope lost in the dust of the street. Red and blue, colors pouring from the sky. Debates turn to anger, the crowd gets loud. Punches flying in the blink of an eye. Truth buried deep beneath the shroud. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak don't survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Faces on the screen, flashing perfect teeth. But behind those eyes, just rotting greed. Politicians turn to whispers beneath. They all just get what they need. Whispering conspiracies, drowning in their lies. Echoes of freedom, lost in cries. Spin the wheel of fate, let's see who rise. But this game will bleed you dry. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak don't survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak don't survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive.
Another week has passed. The Bullpen, episode 19. We're starting it. Got my co-host, Little Chad, who I hope I can hear because we always
see.
have the EV Mugs problem.
Are you hearing me?
I
can't
hear
even-
you.
Yeah, because
It's a miracle.
I have to go in through that speaker link, and then it works.
Yeah, it's weird. Hope everybody's doing well this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you're at. Yeah, it was a busy week in politics. We had the Al Smith dinner. We had the interview with Kamala and Beier. We've had some surrogates go out on the campaign trail for Kamala because she's absolutely drowning right now. And a few other things happened. But, where do you think we should start, Chad?
I think just for as a palate cleanser, we can start with one of the greatest surrogates that Kamala has ever picked for her, sending the message that is super important for everybody to be aware of.
Okay. Oh, Miss Lizzo, huh?
Yeah. So, by the way, this is the official message that Kamala Harris surrogate Lizzo is sending to the entire country.
I'm so proud to be from this city. You know, they say if Kamala wins, then the whole country will be like Detroit.
So, that's a great message to close with.
Yeah. And the thing is, they keep trying to pretend that Detroit is fantastic. I mean, Kamala tried it with her little intro video for the Al Smith dinner, tried to make fun of Trump for saying in Detroit that Detroit was a crap hole. And the whole thing is everybody knows Detroit is a crap hole, and they know it's because of Democrat leadership. So trying to say that turning the whole country into Detroit is a good thing doesn't work for most people that actually think with any portion of their brain. So
Yeah, it's the closing message from a surrogate to be we'll turn your entire country into Detroit is is a bold. It's a what is it? From Dodgeball. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if that
See how it
that
works
works
out.
out.
Yeah. Well, and their thing is they keep trying to say, well, I mean, Detroit's fantastic. That's where, music came from, and they revitalized the auto industry. And it's like, yeah, 60 years ago. We're talking about Detroit now. Detroit now is not a pretty place to be. Everybody wants out of there, but property values are negative at this point for most of the neighborhoods. So, yeah, not the greatest way to go with that. And that the other thing about Lizzo being there is we've seen Kamala go back to what she thought was working for her in the beginning of her campaign, which was we're going to bring out celebrities to all of the rallies to try to get attendance up because nobody actually cares to listen to Kamala.
Exactly. Kamala's strategy was, I won't talk. I'm going to bring out celebrities to do concerts, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah. So we've had Lizzo and Usher this week. I can't remember if there was anybody else that came out concert wise, but yeah,
Yeah, I think Lizzo and Usher were the ones. Usher did his hostage video endorsement, basically telling the deep state, please don't release any of the stuff that you got from the Diddy raids. I'll
exactly.
endorse
Because
her.
remember, like a month and a half ago, he was on The View and they tried to force him to endorse her on The View and he refused to do it. And now all of a sudden he's coming out and going to her campaign rallies, which, yeah, my thoughts are the same as yours. Probably something to do with the Diddy stuff.
I mean, it's still funny that they think somehow Usher is gonna somehow tip the scales. I mean, one of the guy's most famous hits is Confession, where he admits to cheating on Chili from TLC, and he thought it was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it as a song that will be the first release off my new hit album, so that way everybody knows I was doing it. It'll be really great for the relationship.
Yep. So, so last week we played the Men for Kamala ad, which was absolutely hilarious. I think everybody dissected that video and figured out A, they're all actors, and B, at least half of those guys were gay. Half of the actors, at least. So, Normal World came out with their version of that ad, and I'd like to play that because it was fantastic. So this is Dave Landau with special guest Alex Stein, our good buddy. So we'll bring that one up and play it real quick because it's worth seeing. And hopefully the audio works on this.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a macho man.
I'm a macho man.
I like ribeye steaks.
I lift barbell weights.
I can fit an entire can of Foster's in my mouth.
Anyways, you think I'm afraid to get my hands dirty?
You think I'm afraid of bears?
Bears. Grrr.
I'll tell you another thing I'm sure as shit not afraid of. Women.
All of my besties are women.
I mean, everyone in my book club is a woman.
Last year, I did a wine tour in Tuscany with women.
I'm physically attracted exclusively to women.
Ew, gross.
A woman wants to be president? Well, I'm man enough to give her my full-throated support.
You already had me at full-throated.
Because I'm man enough to raw dog a flight.
I'm man enough to raw dog an
Because I'm man enough to support women. I'm sick of so-called men dominating, controlling, and belittling women.
That's what I'm here for. Pound me like a chicken breast.
I'm man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
You know, I'm not actually sure anyone wants to do that.
Put on a scary clown mask and tell me I ain't
Because I love women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
Oh, that Tim. You should get tested.
Fantastic parody ad from the Normal World guys. It's a shame that Garrett's over in Peru, so he wasn't able to participate in that one because he would have been great in that. I'm sure everybody caught it, but they were each playing one of the characters from the Village People.
Yeah, I know that was it who was it in chat? Go Gira 76. Are you sure you're playing the correct video? Isn't this the real Harris ad? It
Pretty much was.
It pretty much was. Yeah. So
The same energy, same type of thing. Yeah, but that one came out. I saw it within like maybe 10 or 15 seconds of Landau posting it, and got it out there real quick. It was golden. So they're doing some good stuff over there at Normal World. Let's see. He brought out another surrogate. Also she brought out another surrogate, also very ineffective. Let's hear from Bill Clinton on what's going on in this election and what his take on the immigration issue is. Just
in Georgia not very long ago.
It probably played the audio without being on screen, didn't it? All right, so this is Bill Clinton on immigration.
In Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up, so we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work, there wouldn't be a problem. And he couldn't keep people all torn up and upset.
So there's a lot to unpack there, right? We've got replacement theory. We've got the racism of, well, these are the people who clean your toilets and grow your food and blah, blah, blah.
Is Bill Clinton younger than Trump?
By two months, I think.
He looks just wrecked. Like I mean, he's not Jimmy Carter husk that's being wheeled out to vote, but
yeah, I would love to know how Carter was actually capable of voting this week, because the guy can't even control his mouth. It's always just completely agape.
Yep. It's I mean, it's a little disturbing when he's not even walking. He's a mummy. He's basically mummified. and he's,
yeah,
I guess, still has a heartbeat, so they're letting him go. But yeah, the idea, like, the surrogates are just, I don't know if it's on purpose. You almost have to think it's on purpose the way they are doing it. You got Joe Biden every chance he gets saying that Kamala is him in terms of policy. And
come on, man, we're intertwined.
Come on, man.
She's me. I'm her.
Here's the deal.
We're together.
Come on. Here's the deal, man. And another thing. All I can think of the Dana Carvey impression now.
And another thing.
Yeah, so you've got him. You got Lizzo saying, we'll make the entire country Detroit. You got, I mean, I don't know, KGP up there doing the White House press briefing in big jackets, making her look like she got a little head, like getting into feuds with
in her Joker outfit
with Ducey.
Yep.
This is not, I mean, it's not a good look. I mean, they were touting, who were they touting? Like Batista.
Yeah. So, Dave Batista, who's been wearing pearl necklaces for the last few months.
Dave Batista. And so Trump, being WWE Hall of Famer that he is, he's like, you're going to try to one up me with Batista. If you're going to come at me with that, I'm going to just destroy you with the WWE community. And I think you've got the clip for that one. Oh, I lost audio. Can chat hear me, or can they hear?
No, it was. I muted it when I was trying to bring it up. So
there you
let's
go.
do it again.
election mania. Choice is yours. You can go with President Trump, Kane, and The Undertaker, or you can take Kamala Harris, Dave Bautista, and Tim Walz. Choose wisely. The nation depends on it.
And that should be an easy choice.
Okay. Hopefully everybody heard it that time.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. Not a technical difficulty, just a host being an idiot. But yeah, you've got Kane and Undertaker now coming out for Trump, which I don't really care about celebrity endorsements, but it's funny because, like Chad said, he's fighting directly against the Dave Bautista coming out with the WWE. And remember, Linda McMahon was in Trump's first cabinet, and Kane, Glenn Jacobs, is actually one of the better mayors in the country on the Republican side. So that's what he did after he got out of wrestling, was got into politics and is now a mayor.
Yep. So I do want. I saw some interesting things. Like we've got with these celebrity endorsements aren't doing anything. I mean, but Trump's competing this time, which is good. We've got celebrities coming out doing, like, actually being willing to endorse him in public. I mean, if you're on X, Zachary Levi has gone all in on sharing and promoting pro-Trump stuff.
Yeah.
We got, and that's not to say Zachary Levi is a huge star. He's he's known, but he's not a giant. But it's more of an indication of culture shift that people are willing to openly do this.
Right.
It's not just
it
people.
still may be career suicide, but at this point they're saying, well, it's worth it.
Yeah. So I think part of it is also Kamala is so damn unlikable and terrible as a candidate.
Yeah.
As evidenced, I think the biggest story for me this week was that she actually went on Fox News. I don't know who in her campaign decided that. I mean, it's a desperate gambit to try to put. Kamala Harris is notoriously bad in sit-down interviews anyway. And Brett Beier, and he was harsh on Trump when Trump was in doing interviews with him last year too. It's he interrupted Trump more.
He did about 100 times.
Brett.
That's
So
his
Brett
interview
Bear's
style. He hounds you until you actually answer
So the
what
question.
the question is.
Oh, we got an actual Rumble rant in there.
Yeah, from Deeple 101. Hail Brahma and Little Chad. Hail chat. Hope you hit monetization on YouTube, but I know that you'll get more money from the green machine. Insert Scooby-Doo spooky music here. Maybe you can bum a cig with it. Thank you, Deeple. Yeah, we're actually we hit the hours and then they took back a few hours. So as of this morning, we're only 4 hours away from monetization. So tomorrow I'll be applying. So
yeah.
But
So
thank you very much for the Rumble rant.
Yeah. So back to the with putting her in a situation with Brett Beier, who is actually a bulldog of a reporter who will force you and follow up until either you make an actual answer or you look retarded for not answering a direct question. It's the wrong matchup. They're not going to edit it friendly. They're not going to go out of their way to do stuff. And so I think you've got some clips lined up of how spectacular she was on that performance.
Yeah, I've only got the one clip from the actual interview because I think just about everybody saw multiple clips from it. But this was one of my favorites, so we'll play this one real quick.
The country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
This is where, and
that's her answer. And Donald Trump has been running for office since he got out.
The follow-up's even better because she starts to keep going on that, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "I think we both know what I'm talking about." He's like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, I wish I had grabbed a few more, but yeah, that was one of my favorite moments. Was her just, but Donald Trump is running for office. That's an answer. Trust me. We do have the clip of Brett talking to his Fox colleagues about the interview after the interview. So I'll bring that one up real quick.
Yeah, this is to frame it like so in the situation, like when you do an interview with a politician, it's not by themselves. They always have handlers. They have their press secretaries, before they're president, they just call them communications directors, and all the other handlers, like usually their campaign manager, the communications director, the ones in charge of messaging. There's usually going to be at least 4 to 8 people in the interview room in addition to the candidate.
Especially in this case, because it was announced beforehand that there would be no editing. It would be just released as a raw interview. So here's Brett talking about the interview after it happened.
Dana, you've been on the other side. You've been on the rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president. And, you know, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like it's got to stop. So, Martha, I had to dismount there at the end. There's so many things, and she maybe should do more of these. Madam Vice President,
And
they're giving me a hard rap
Well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's her staff only about 25 minutes in to what was supposed to be, a 30 to 45-minute interview that they showed up 20 minutes late to. Yeah, they were freaking out because they could see how bad it was going and they needed it to end immediately. There were some comments in the chat. Goj said, I think that it was a no-win because everybody was saying that Brett, on one side they're saying Brett could have gone harder, and on the other side they're all calling him sexist.
I've got a live clip, by the way, of Kamala's team during the interview. Let me get that shared up for you.
The thing is, Brett did this to Trump too. It's not a sexist thing. It's a answer the freaking question thing.
So this is Kamala's team.
Stop! He's already dead.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went.
Yeah, I liked Gogira 76. My expectations were low for going in, but she brought mining equipment.
Yeah.
But this is, if you've watched Kamala Harris in her career, I'm not talking about in California where she was basically where the press was, to use the SAT question, what Kamala was to Willie Brown, the California press was to Kamala. So yeah, I'm sure everyone who's got knowledge will understand how that worked. Anytime she's ever been in any adversarial, or not even adversarial, but any routine journalistic interview, going back to when she was just a senator, she's terrible. She comes up with like the worst. I mean, it makes you think of the Joker character from the first Joker when he's like, I have this condition where I just start laughing during uncomfortable moments.
Right.
This is Kamala. So it's terrible. There's the famous one where she was with Lester Holt as vice president when she's like, I've been to the border. And he's like, no, you haven't. And he's like, well, I haven't been to Europe
either.
Yeah, she's like, and even Lester Holt's like, I'm not even being unfriendly. It's just, what the hell was that answer?
Yeah, because Europe is not the issue. The border is, and you're the border czar, which they have tried to back off.
If somebody like Sarah Palin had ever said a quote like that, it would have been on friggin' Saturday Night Live. It would be indelibly etched into pop culture history. Like the whole joke about how Sarah Palin said, I can see Russia from my house, was a joke from Saturday Night Live.
She didn't say it.
She never said it. It was Tina Fey playing Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin had given an interview, and when asked about foreign policy experience, she said, as the governor of Alaska, we share a border with Russia, so we have foreign issues that we work with on a state level. And they turned that into the joke of, I see Russia from my house. Kamala actually says some god-awfully stupid line, and they don't touch it.
Yeah. Bush wanted us to bring up the clip from the Kamala rally where somebody yelled out Jesus is Lord after she went on a diatribe about abortion again, because that seems to be the only thing her campaign can run on at this point. So let me bring that up real quick.
While you're doing that, Josh Hammond says, do you think Kamala Harris was as terrible as on the casting couch as in interviews? And clearly she couldn't have been, because she did rise to prominence through her skills.
Her casting couch prowess.
If anybody, if Mr. Grant Gregory was here, I'd tell him to go to Basketball and use AI to replace Jenny McCarthy's face with Kamala's for a few scenes to sum up her meteoric political rise.
The polishing the trailer
hitch. Yeah. Get the chrome off the...
Yeah. All right, so here is what happened at her rally. Let me see if I can make that embiggened.
Did you hear that? Some guy in the crowd shouted, "Jesus is Lord." And Kamala said, "I think you're at the wrong rally." And then she said, "Try the smaller one down the street." Everyone laughed and laughed and cheered, but I was at that rally. There were almost 7,000 people at it. Today they said there were 2,500. Nobody waiting. Open spaces. I wanted everyone who's a believer to hear that for themselves.
Again, we're not going to be gaslighted on this. We remember Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
And this is her deciding to feed off the energy of the crowd. Like, here's my girl boss moment.
Yep.
No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
And then uncontrollable laughter. I made it funny, huh? She has not handled hecklers well.
No, I mean, she doesn't handle any off-message thing well. She needs to be on prompter. I mean, we showed the clip, I think, a couple shows back where the prompter went out for 30 seconds and she just kept repeating the same
32.
thing.
32 days. The amount of days is 32. There shall be no more, no less. Just 32.
She's Ron Burgundy. You put it on the prompter, she's going to say it. I really want somebody to finally try to hack the prompter and see if she'll just say it.
Say something.
Go F yourself, Wisconsin. It's like,
she would.
Yeah, and she would. And then turn the prompter off, and then she just keep repeating it. Go F yourself, Wisconsin. Go F yourself. Wisconsin, go F yourself.
Yep. Well, and the thing that's so pathetic about it is she's giving the same campaign, stump speech over and over and over. So how at this point, if the prompter goes out, you've already given this speech maybe 2 other times that day. How do you not know what comes next at this point? You've been doing this for months with the exact same speech over and over and over. It's incredible that she cannot speak for even 5-10 seconds off the cuff. So yeah, part of the point of the clip that Bush sent was, she's decided to see if she can burn all ties with Christianity. And earlier in the week, we also had the Al Smith dinner, the Catholic Charities, major event that happens every election cycle. And typically both candidates will show up and they will do some light roasting of each other. You're supposed to singe, not go nuclear. Trump showed up. Kamala didn't. Kamala sent in a video. Everybody took notice. I mean, Jim Gaffigan was the host. We've got a few clips from him, and we've got a few of Trump's zingers, and then we've got the incredibly outdated video that Kamala Harris sent in. So I'll get a couple of those set up real quick. So we'll start with Gaffigan. We've got a couple of things from Gaffigan not pulling punches on Kamala. So
22%
get this in
of
here.
Americans, 22% of Americans identify as Catholic. Catholics will be a key demographic in every battleground state. I'm sorry, why is Vice President Harris not here? I mean, consider this. This is a room full of Catholics and Jews in New York City. This is a layup for the Democratic nominee. I mean, in her defense, I mean, she did find time to appear on The View, Howard Stern, Colbert, and the longtime staple of campaigning, the Call Her Daddy podcast. You know what I think it is? I think she doesn't like me.
Yep. So he roasted her a bit there. Let's see, we've got the other one, and yeah, as chat pointed out, Gaffigan is not a fan of Trump, or at least he wasn't.
I think
Joe
Trump
Rogan turned him
personally,
around a little bit.
Yeah, I think he probably met Trump personally, and Trump, you could see he was laughing at Trump jokes. He was enjoying. I think there might be something where once you meet Trump, it seems like some of these people turn around a little bit on him.
Yep, that Trump has a personality that seems to bring people in once they've actually met him. Yep. So here's another little clip from Gaffigan.
Of course, Joe Biden was our second Catholic president, right? After JFK, President Biden couldn't be here tonight. The DNC made sure of that.
I just love looking at Chuck Schumer with all this going on and how uncomfortable he gets sometimes.
I guess I'm the only one that reads history.
Yep. So a few zingers from him. He did go after Trump a little bit. I felt like he went after Kamala a lot more, and I think it was because everybody was actually offended that she chose not to show up.
Yeah, it's not like she's doing anything where she couldn't attend this event.
Yeah, we've got one more from Gaffigan, and then we'll get a few of the zingers from Trump, and then the great video from Kamala Harris. This one I think was your favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been an interesting presidential campaign. The Democrats have been telling us.
Did it stop?
In fact,
Okay.
they were so concerned of this threat, they staged a coup, ousted their democratically elected incumbent, and installed Kamala Harris. In other words, all her dreams have come true.
I appreciate when it's publicly spoken of that what they did was what they're trying to accuse Trump of doing to subvert democracy, when they're like, we're so afraid of Trump that we are going to oust a person that was elected in a primary again to be the nominee and do
14 million votes.
Yep.
Yeah. The thing is, kind of what's been being said behind the scenes was that they did not want her to show up to this event because A, she's running on abortion, which the Catholic Church is against, and B, she's running on we have to win Michigan as part of it, and that is mostly Muslim. So whoever her campaign advisor is, there were plenty of conversations about how that person got torn into by Harris after how bad this went, especially with the video. So we'll go with the Kamala video first, I think, and then we'll cleanse it with Trump. So give me just a sec. And I do realize that the quality on this is not the best.
Cool. Oh, sorry. Hey, what's going on? Who was that?
Oh, sorry, Mary Catherine Gallagher. Mary Catherine Gallagher. It's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Mary Catherine. Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
Sometimes when I get nervous, I stick my fingers under my arms and I simmer them like that. But that's gross.
So tell me something. I'm giving a speech. Do you have some thoughts about what I might say tonight?
My feelings about what you should say tonight would be best expressed in a monologue from one of my favorite made-for-TV series.
Okay, let's hear it.
Don't you see, man? We need a woman to represent us. A woman brings more heart, more compassion. And think how smart she must be to become a top contender in a field dominated by men. It's time for a woman, bro. And with this woman, we can fly.
What series was that from?
Oh, that's from House of Dragons, now streaming on HBO Max.
Is there anything that you think that maybe I shouldn't bring up tonight?
Well, don't lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor.
Indeed, especially thy neighbor's election results.
Just so you know, there will be a fact checker there tonight.
Oh, that's great. Who?
Jesus. And maybe don't say anything negative about Catholics.
I would never do that, no matter where I was. That would be like criticizing Detroit in Detroit.
Does it bother you that Trump guy insults you all the time? Because it really bothers my friends and me.
Oh, Mary Catherine, it's very important to always remember you should never let anyone tell you who you are. You tell them who you are.
Haters gonna hate, hate, hate. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. Good for you, Mary Catherine.
Oh, yeah, okay. And also remember one more thing. Don't worry if you make a mistake, 'cause Catholic people are very forgiving. Yeah, and also one last thing I want to tell you. Don't forget to say, superstar!
Thank you, Mary Catherine.
Thank you, Kamala.
Thank you. Your Eminence and distinguished guest. The Al Smith dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship and come together to do some good.
So
I feel like
I'm not sure what happened with the clip, but
who was it? Jaffo, when he said something just became a second belly button, pretty much sums up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's an SNL skit from when we were in high school. I mean, that is so far back there that I don't know that half of the people that she would be trying to reach with this would have any idea who Mary Catherine Gallagher even is, or what is supposed to be funny about the skit. I mean, it was one of the worst SNL characters that ever got a movie. The movie tanked out. So, yeah. I mean, it was horrible. So,
I mean, I worked at a theater when it came out. I can confirm that as an usher, it was great. I didn't have to clean up anything after each showtime. So it was perfect.
Well, and then there was the line in there about Catholics are very forgiving. They might have been very forgiving if she had shown up. Instead, she recorded this video, which was exactly what she should not have done. If you weren't going to show, don't do anything. Putting this out there was far worse. There have been multiple reports from people who were sitting up on the dais that nothing happened after the video played. Everybody was just dead silent, like, what the hell was that? There was no applause, no cheering. It was just went over like a lead balloon. So, yeah, that was not effective, and that's fine with me. She can continue to piss off the Catholics, and, she can hope to maybe pull out Michigan from that, but she's behind on Polymarket by almost 11 or 12 points in Michigan alone, and Michigan is not her path to victory. So I don't know what the point was. We'll bring up Trump, some of Trump's jokes. I think we got like 5 of them in here, so we'll get this up here real quick. Okay, so, and they're captioned, so you can
follow along
a little bit better. Follow the bouncing ball.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially The city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this?
My
White
favorite
Dudes
joke.
for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. A major issue in this race is child care, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep him away. That's a nasty one. Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
So yeah, Trump got a few zingers in there.
Yeah, my favorite was still the White Dudes for Harris. I did like their
About
wives,
their
and
wives.
their wives' lovers will be voting for me.
Yeah, that one may have been an Alex Stein edition for him.
Yeah, I do think it's what Trump bringing up the Doug Imhoff is not getting any attention for the bad behavior he's engaged in. We've got the allegations about what he did with the nanny.
Yep.
And then we've also got
about
now
a former
about
girlfriend.
about abuse, spousal abuse. So why I would love the death knell for Kamala's campaign will be if one local journalist has the balls to ask her about it. Like, you really love childcare and you speak to the necessity of childcare. Do you think it's inappropriate that your husband engaged in relations with a nanny, got her pregnant, and then made her get an abortion?
Yeah. Well, especially with all of the journalists out there interviewing him and opinion people out there doing interviews with him and saying that he's now the new face of masculinity. And is that the face you want on masculinity? Hits women and sleeps with the nanny? Fine. If that's what they're going for, I guess. But yeah, they're not going to go after Imhoff at all. They're trying to make him into the cuck soy boy that is now what every man should be, just because he lets his wife run for president, is the way they're putting it. Lets her, but yeah, the world's crazy. So those were the clips I've got from the Al Smith dinner. We kind of burned through clips a little bit faster than I anticipated this morning, but
well, they were. I mean, it's good. They all loaded correctly and they flowed good, so that's not bad. I do have a couple things. Let's see if I can get this. We've got a clip from ABC News that dropped about early voting and the shift since 2000.
Sounds toxic to me, but what do I know? I'm just a dumb woman. Exactly. All right, what do we got?
So early voting has actually started up in most states. So this is ABC News. I think it's Rick Klein doing some analysis on some of the returns we're getting on early voting.
But based on the likely partisanship of the voters that we've seen so far, we're seeing more Republicans as a share of the electorate than Democrats. Take a look at that. 4 years ago, less than a third, only 32% of people that had voted so far were Republicans. That's up 6 points so far this cycle. Now, that could be a sign of enthusiasm among Republicans. It could be because Donald Trump is sometimes at least supporting early voting. And it may be that these are voters they're going to vote anyway on Election Day. But the bottom line is that people are voting and they're enthusiastic about this race. In Pennsylvania, we've seen Republicans so far ahead of the 2020 pace. Again, Democrats are still a larger share of early voters, but there are more Republicans in just about all of the states where we've seen significant votes so far. But based on this race,
sorry, it doesn't auto level clips.
Yeah. So what?
And it all sounds the same volume to us back here.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that. But this is what I'm going to point out. If you look at the shift, it's not just that as a percentage, the Republicans are representing more. There's also about 3 million less early votes than in the 2020 cycle at this point. So of the, early voting, the Republicans are a higher percentage and there's less of them. And Republicans still tend to want to go out election day. That's, a traditional thing that they've done, especially under Trump. So it's a good sign that the enthusiasm is not there for Kamala. And yeah, I mean, I see Eric in the chat. That PA early voting is still favoring. They always favor the early voting.
Yeah,
tends to favor them. It's a matter of can they run up the number enough. And early voting is down. Like I'll get another because I know everyone's is Pennsylvania is the big worry zone.
And even though early voting is favoring the Democrats still, the thing is the voter registration was monumental on the Republican side in Pennsylvania. That's part of the reason that you're seeing polls showing that Pennsylvania is leaning towards going Trump, and the betting market has all but called it for Trump already.
Yeah,
Republicans still go out on election day, even though what we've been harping on is you've got to play by the rules that are currently being, used. So everybody should be voting as early as you can because you don't want some crazy disaster or a DDoS attack on election day to have sway in this election because we all know that they're going to do something.
Yeah, and so if the philosophy should be early vote, bank your vote, and then work on getting lower propensity people out to vote.
Yeah.
People who like truckers who may not be like, if you hear someone blackpilling like my vote doesn't matter, and I was like, look, if it doesn't matter, I'll drive you right by the place. You can just vote for Trump. It won't matter anyway. I'll do that, and then I'll take you to lunch. Do something. So, like, I'm not telling you to buy a vote, but if somebody, if you can get more people to the polls who would not otherwise do it, you're helping. That's what you want to do. The philosophy that the Democrats have won with has generally been capturing the ballots of low propensity voters in this early voting window.
Harvesting.
And that doesn't mean you have to worry that Republicans can't compete with harvesting. If you look at Orange County, California, the Democrats ended up going to court to try to stop Republicans because once they turned on a ballot harvesting operation, like the Democrats did, they recaptured all of those congressional seats. And they didn't, so it's not like it's not like Republicans don't have a lot of low propensity voters to capture ballots from and get that stuff in. So it's just, I think I'm encouraged by the fact that Turning Point with Charlie Kirk, who's been farmed out a lot of these operations, Laura Trump over in the RNC, they have been encouraging and working on it. I can even see it in Virginia. The turnout models of in Virginia are showing that Republicans and Republican districts are turning out in large numbers compared to what it had been and voting early.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk and Turning Point have been going to most of the swing states and the battleground states, going to the colleges, doing their events, his question and answer events. And it's basically just a mass registration drive on the college campuses to make sure that those college students actually get out and do something because our college students, I don't think, are as likely to be motivated to vote as the left is because they're all activists on the left. Ours are seemingly normal people for the most part, and at that age, politics typically isn't the biggest thing on your mind. So Kirk's doing a great job, and Laura Trump, she has said, sure, if ballot harvesting is the law in that state, we're going to ballot harvest. We're going to play the game by the rules that they've laid out. And I think that's important. We can change the rules afterwards and get it back to. I would love to see it as a national holiday, election day. No early voting. If you're military, that's military or unable to go to the polls is about the only reason you should get a ballot in the mail. So
Yeah, I think, for election integrity, every other civilized Western country does paper ballots, day of voting. They just make elections the holiday, like you said. It's not hard. If you have a genuine need to vote absentee, that should be fine. It should be it shouldn't be something where we try to do it. It's just, as Elon Musk and a lot of others have pointed out, it's a recipe for unchecked fraud is what it makes. So
yeah.
and we're doing, I guess Trump is confirming that he's going over to McDonald's to do his little shift today.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go cook some fries. Did you see
Yeah.
the McDonald's chef saying it's a lot harder than you think? And
I mean,
somebody posted, I was a McDonald's fry cook. You take the bag of fries, you dump it into the fryer, you put the
you
thing
press the
down into
timer.
the
Yeah.
oil, and you press the 3-minute timer. Then when that dings, you bring it back up, and there's your fries.
Yeah, so here we go. Let me try to make sure it doesn't blow out of your drums.
I'm going for a job right now at McDonald's. I really wanted to do this all my life, and now I'm going to do it because she didn't do it. Thank you very much. I'll see you at McDonald's.
Because she didn't do it.
I've wanted to do it my whole life. There's, people who don't, there's a lot of clips, and it was for reality television, but where Trump actually went around and did all the jobs at his hotels, where he,
kind of like an undercover boss type thing.
except, it wasn't uncovered.
Not undercover. It's
he
Trump.
he was a dog walker, did dog walking. He, worked with a maid and cleaned the room, was cleaning the toilets in the bathroom. He did it, put on the stuff, worked as room service delivery. And then when he was doing it, it's Trump. So he's like, all right, you're going to give us a big tip for dropping this off.
Davina's right. Bring back beef tallow fries.
Oh, they were so good. Of all the things, that would be my Project 2025 meme. Project 2025 will bring back beef tallow and fries. The people today, the young people, don't understand how good McDonald's fries were when it was fried in beef tallow.
Yeah, and before it was just like little casings that they injected potato into, when it used to actually be fries. But the beef tallow made all the difference in the world. Yeah, Bush sent us the new face of masculinity. Yeah, between Imhoff and Walls, what the hell?
I mean, I think it might be a little inappropriate to share on here, but someone had sent me a meme, and it was a picture of AOC's boyfriend or husband, and he was holding his phone up to take a picture, and the meme was, "Look, it's AOC's boyfriend in his favorite sex position."
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, it's
because he's a keck.
Yep. And of course, we're living in the best timeline because Trump is making those jokes at the Al Smith dinner. So
yeah,
it's but we've got. I mean, I think people need to be feeling pretty good. Don't take anything for granted. Use this enthusiasm to get the people out there. But Polymarket, which is the largest betting market, the polling. In fact, I know it's a little early, but I think it's worth maybe looking at Polymarket now just to show how gargantuan this shift has been with Kamala.
This has essentially been, since she did the Brett Beier interview, Polymarket has gone insane on the betting.
Yeah, so we've got, I'll try.
Insane in the good way.
There we go, embiggen it. So this is now, we've got Trump sitting just under 60% and at 59.9, and Kamala just at 40. Her dip lowest was 38, and Trump's biggest was 62. But you can see this shift where it's just taking off. And Kamala really created right about here, which was the Brett Beier interview.
Yep.
It was already a solid and sustained lead for Trump, but doing that interview just crushed it.
Everybody saw that she has. The way the interview went was every question she would not answer, but every single thing was Well, Trump did, and Trump does, and Trump and Trump and Trump and Trump and Trump. That's her only answer. Everything is about Trump. It's like, okay, well, that's no reason to vote for you, for anybody that isn't completely enraged with TDS. That's not going to get to the independents. And the whole reason she was on Fox was because more independents watch Fox than watch MSNBC and CNN. So, and Fox hasn't exactly been great at trying to support Trump. I mean, Fox is essentially a captured network at this point. They're still most right-leaning, of the major networks, but
Lachlan Murdoch he's the one running it now.
The Murdochs
they're all for Kamala.
Leftist. Yeah.
At least the boys are. I mean,
Rupert wasn't necessarily. He was for money, but the boys are definitely extreme leftist.
Yeah. So I mean, Polymarket is, as the biggest betting site, has now had a sustained shift, and I think this is another thing where people were getting their money out, and so now the money that was behind Kamala is probably not going to be going in force. We've got some new polling. Let me get that one in there. That also supports that. We've got the latest two, another Atlas Intel, which has Trump +3, and a tip.
And a good size sample.
Yep. With 4,000, and a tip one, which was done 10-12 to the, but this is the one that's really intriguing to me, right? So tip, with a poll taken 10-17 and then 10-19. So just this past week, basically ran from Thursday to Saturday, and it has Trump +2. The thing about it that is interesting is the last time Tip ran a poll, because they kind of do it monthly, was the beginning of September, 9/11 to 9/13. Same polling outfit had Harris +4.
Yeah, same length of time.
Same length of time, same polling outfit. So that means the same methodology, same stuff. Now that's you generally assign, that's where you can start noticing the shift, is when you want to look at like to like. You want the same polling outfit, which uses the same methodology doing it.
Yeah, actual snapshots of what was going on a month ago and what is going on now.
And now the spread, I mean, Fox News had Trump +2, and I know everyone wants to think Fox News, like you said, isn't, but Fox News polling has never been friendly for Trump.
Never.
So,
in fact, just the last few times that they have put out polls, I believe she's been leading in each one.
Yep. And so the current spread for Harris is 0.9, when historical numbers, Biden was +8.6 and Clinton was +6.4. If Trump overperforms his polling like he normally does, we're looking at a situation where Trump genuinely could also win the popular vote in addition to the electoral vote. And why that's really important is the down ballot races.
Well, it's important for that, and it's also important that if he does win the popular vote, then you can't have them whining and saying, well, he didn't win the popular vote, he only won the Electoral College, which they've been trying to attack for the last, decade or two. But it's really begun in earnest now, because they see that he's most likely he's at 90% odds to win the Electoral College. It's much, much lower for him to win the popular vote currently. But if he were to win the popular vote, they really don't have a leg to stand on. That's a mandate for a Republican winning the popular vote. It hasn't happened in a long, long time for the
to
Republicans.
Speak to that, the current no toss-up map that Real Clear Politics has based on polling averages is 312-226.
Yeah, and I had about a month ago I was saying 312, 313. So
the 313 is based on Nebraska.
Yep. Or having Virginia do something crazy.
If Virginia switches, then it's bigger. But what the way I could see it getting to 313 is either that one district in Nebraska, which is very unlikely, but Maine as a competitive state, Trump could do well enough in District 1 and then overwhelm in District 2 to end up getting that bonus one for winning the state popular vote. so he could pick up that it's either going to be somehow Kamala bombs Nebraska Congressional District 2, which is
Well, at the time
Omaha.
that I was calling for 313, that was when Nebraska was deciding whether they were going to be a winner-take-all state or not. They chose to shelve that, so that one district is still out there, but that puts us right back to 312, which is where everybody seems to be settling right now. Is this is what the map will likely look like on election night.
And so this is where it's interesting, because there's been some polling data that New York, because New York is not often polled for presidential elections, that Kamala is going to win New York by less than 10 points.
Yeah.
Which would be an indicator of like the national shift. If she wins New York by less than 10 points and California has a very like shift, this is good news, because like we were talking about down ballot, that would mean that the Republicans generally in the House elections should end up probably with a 10 seat-ish majority, 10 to 12, if we pull that kind of, because if you look, New York has 28 congressional districts, California has 54. They're not all Democrats. They don't all represent Democrat cities. Like there are competitive congressional districts that are important for maintaining and growing your majority.
Yeah, we saw that in the 2022 midterms even.
Yep. Yeah, for California, it comes from Orange County. The Republicans have to hold firm there. For New York, Long Island, and a lot of the congressional districts that come out of there are battleground ones. So there's a lot of good. When people question, we've talked about it before, why is Trump doing a rally at Madison Square Garden? It's for Long Island. It's for the congressional districts. It's because he doesn't want Hakeem Jeffries to be bottling him up as president for at least 2 years, possibly longer. So,
yeah. And the Senate, I mean, we've said all along the Senate is most likely going to be Republican controlled, but the House was a little bit more of a question mark until recently. The House is starting to, even the betting markets are starting to say it could be a clean sweep. Is not every seat going, but a clean sweep, as in the Republicans get the presidency, the Senate, and the House.
Yeah, so I see Bush and talking about Massachusetts, and Eric talking about California, and it is true. Like I'm not under any illusion that we're going to win these states. This isn't Reagan in '84 where Mondale only wins Minnesota. This is just realistic 2024 math. Now, granted, things are so bad for people economically, where is there a possibility of just a shy Trump voter where once they get into the ballot and nobody's looking, they might just be like, F it. I'm putting a Kamala sign in my yard for the social requirement of my neighborhood.
Right.
But I'm going to vote for Trump. Because this is the thing where you get into the like, well, everybody's voting for Kamala, so it won't even hurt if I just vote for Trump. And then enough people do that. That it ends
it's the the blue state where, well, we know the state's going to go this way, but I'm not happy with it, and then a whole bunch of people vote the other way, not knowing that everybody else is voting the other way. So you could see a little bit of that.
Yeah, so
and it's not as unpopular to vote for Trump now as it was 4 years ago or even 8 years ago.
No, we've got the Trump actually going there, and I think Trump is being more strategic about supporting the down ballot races and trying to do what he can for that.
Well, and the funny thing is, we're now seeing a ton more projection from the left and from Kamala specifically about, well, Trump's unfit for office, blah blah blah. It's like the one thing that they keep saying that is going to happen is Trump's going to be 25th immediately, and we're going to have J.D. Vance as the president. That's what they're now trying to use as a scare tactic. It's like, okay, so we're already moving to next Republican is already worse than Trump and is the new Hitler. Whatever. I mean, it's all projection from them. It's incredible how much projection is coming. In fact, we've got a clip of Kamala doing a lot of projection. I'll pull it up if you want to go over some.
Yeah, and I guess I lost your audio, Bromer. Are you muted? Yeah, just making sure. Okay, so it's uh it's something important to talk about. Like we don't loosely, down ballot, all these kinds of things we've been, going for. Kamala is historically unpopular. It's opportunities. It's good stuff. Don't let anyone black pill you. And I hate that. That's where if I'm vamping, that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm
Yeah.
so anti black pill because people are getting down about things when these are not no one. I don't think part of it's because I don't think anyone's going to burn their bridge to support Kamala. I don't think Josh Shapiro's burning there. I don't think Whitmer's doing it. They don't like her, so they're not going to go to bat for her and risk anything.
And those are battleground states. I mean, those are states that she would have to
Yep.
have any chance. And
And
I don't think they're willing to do as much cheating on behalf of Kamala.
no, and I think when you see the Bob Casey ad where he's doing stuff where he's running ads about how he was on Team Trump, that's an indicator of where Pennsylvania's at. Sherrod Brown is like imploding because of Kamala Harris in Ohio.
You're starting to see congressional and Senate candidates actually moving towards Trump, even on the left, because they know that she's going to sink them. So they have to start appearing more moderate than what they actually are by moving towards Trump in the middle and not calling him the devil at all every phase of the election, because that may be their only chance of getting reelected. So here's Kamala speaking in one of the rallies last week.
And here's the thing. It makes you wonder. Why does his staff want him to hide away? One must question. Are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable to lead America? Is that what's going on?
I mean, seriously, she's gonna say that?
Yeah. I think somebody I forget on X who did it, but they put up the number of events and interviews Trump has done just in the last like 4 weeks compared to Kamala. And it was like, I don't know what you think hiding away means, but it's clearly not
Right.
what Trump's
Well,
been
there's
doing.
the amount of things that he's doing. There's them trying to attack, his mental acuity, and it's like, okay, so you're projecting both the way you hide from interviews and the way you hid Joe Biden's obvious mental issues that everybody on one side could see, not just at the debate. We've been saying it his whole presidency. But no, Trump is now the one with mental issues and is unstable and is old. And Kamala does, so much press. Going out there and doing the same stump speech at rallies 2 or 3 times a day is not the same as what Trump is doing. And I'm interested to see if she'll end up going on Rogan, because it seems like Trump is all but confirmed for Rogan. But I believe Rogan had only said he would do it if he had both sides represented. So I don't think there's any chance in hell they can have her sit down for 3 hours with Rogan.
I don't know. I mean, how long was she in the room for the Call Her Daddy podcast?
What, maybe 45 minutes or so?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the length of time on it was, but that was friendly as well.
Oh, yeah. It was.
Let's talk about girl issues.
Exactly. And
can you give us any tips on how to give a great BJ?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest. If I was booking for that show and I wanted someone who was qualified, I would call Kamala.
You would call Kamala.
I mean, she's qualified enough that it clearly was how it got her lots of jobs. So,
yeah.
You want someone who's proven, someone with experience, someone who gets that 3 a.m. call and knows what to do.
Yeah, the 3 a.m. booty call.
This is like, when Kamala gets the, hey, boo, you up? Text at 3 a.m., she knows what the deal is. She knows that it's not important to make sure that your wife's out of town. You just do what needs to be done.
She straps on those knee pads and gets to work.
Yeah. She's Oh, Jaffo. That's an inappropriate comment. Jaffo. Just because he's an Avs fan doesn't mean.
We do have a one of the cartoon things that we've seen a few of, the
Freedom Tunes.
What is the channel? Yeah, Freedom Tunes, I believe.
For the Kamala interview?
Yeah. We've
Yeah,
got that recap
like
that Bush sent in, so we can play that real quick. And then we'll start winding up here in the next few minutes. But
Josh Hammond, hey, AOC, Big Booty Latina.
Big Booty Latina. AOC, my favorite. All right. Let's bring this up. Get rid of that. This is why you need actual producers. They can just pull
Make
it up
sure
and
you
at least
adjust
we'll talk.
the volume for this one, because
let
the Kamala cackle. Good
rating.
Good heads up on that one, Eric, to remind us about the video clip volume.
All right, let's see.
Harris, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Brad.
Thank you.
We'll see how this goes for you.
Mrs. Harris, how many people do you believe have crossed the borders? Miss Harris.
Hopefully it's not too loud.
Kamala, please. Mrs. Vice President, it's a simple question.
I'm speaking. Excuse me, I'm speaking.
I apologize. All right, well, I'm just going to say it. She destroyed him. Oh my gosh, Roy. Oh golly, he's so embarrassed.
I bet those Republicans are regretting that one.
Kamala, Kamala, Kamala.
I mean, yes, it was hilarious, but it would have been more hilarious if instead of her just screaming, it would have her just been screaming the word Trump, because that was pretty much how it went.
Yeah, that would have been a more accurate parody to go with, because she was just like, Trump's been running for what? Like, and you've been in power. What?
The world is on fire. Yeah, and Trump is trying to get elected. That's what you're going with. Okay. Yeah. There were some SNL clips, but we keep getting claimed for those, so we won't bring up the SNL stuff. But yeah, what else? Was there anything else that we had going on this week? I think we kind of covered most of what I had for the show.
Yeah, I mean, it was a more quiet week, a more standard week. We had actual interviews and good clips to go to. Like you said, lasting takeaway is don't be black-pilled. Get friends and family who are low propensity, people who say their vote doesn't matter. Do what needs to be done. Like, if I say you'll take them out to lunch after they vote. Don't even care who they vote for, but you know who they're going to vote for, because then you can anticipate what their likely leanings are. Help. That's how you help. That's what you're going to be doing. If you haven't early voted, if your state has that available I'm not telling you to do mail-in ballots, but if early in person, like in Virginia, we have that. It's super easy. You bring your ID, you go and you do your, the early voting location, you bank your vote. In Virginia, I mean, I've seen there's a lot of indicators that it could be a lot closer than anticipated. I have a lot of hope that for me, it's like an educated wish kind of hope from Deadpool, right? All my knowledge tells me that Virginia is not going to flip the Senate or vote for Trump. But with Youngkin in place, and the fact that the DOJ is so pissed off about his election integrity stuff to the point where they're suing, that tells me they're actually worried about Virginia.
Suing for something that's been done for decades now.
Which
it's
is
been on the law. It's been on the books for what, at least 30 years?
No, it was a law Tim Kaine signed in 2006.
Oh, okay. It was more recent than that.
Yeah, and it was designed to help remove old Republican voters, is why they did it. But it's, the way it's worded is to be able to clear the rolls. So he's using a law. Tim Kaine, who is the current Democratic senator of Virginia, former running mate of Hillary Clinton, and former Democratic governor of Virginia, put in place in 2006 and didn't veto. So yeah, bad take, Bojan. Illinois is captured. As long as Chicago runs that thing, and the Priskers are, they're terrible. Like
the fact that
god-awful
Chicago
people.
can't even reverse its choice for mayor, and the state can't figure out a governor situation without it just getting worse and worse. I mean, Beetlejuice was better than what they ended up getting after getting rid
Isn't
of
that
Beetlejuice.
terrible to say that? And to speak to Jaffo, since I'm in people who left Fairfax, I live in a more rural part towards the northwest part of Virginia. I grew up in Prince William, which is right under Fairfax and is part of the government employee 95 corridor. And this is where I moved. I didn't want to leave. I love Virginia. It's a great state. It's like there's a lot of states where if you take out the two cities that dominate, some things, they're beautiful. Colorado's a great example of that too. If Boulder and
Greater Denver
could just not be counted, the rest of Colorado would be ruby red and solid.
Yeah, that's how you get a Bobert.
Yep. And Virginia's the same way. Outside, Bush lived in Courthouse. I worked at that theater for a couple times. AMC Courthouse up there. It is a terrible one. It was built right into the former courthouse. The AMC never wanted to maintain it. Terrible. Anyway, but it's courthouse is right up there in basically Arlington, Alexandria, and it's right by DC. It's again, the place that dominates Virginia is Fairfax County, Loudoun County, Arlington, Alexandria. That basically little U shape that circles DC, and it goes around into Maryland too, into Silver Spring and all those places, and it's where all Montgomery County. We have 2 million federal employees who basically work in DC and go in. Like DC as a city, its actual residential population, I think, is around 600,000. But it's like Manhattan, where everybody comes into work and then they all leave because they don't want to live there. So, that's awesome.
AI meme shared from D-Day Cobra.
Nice.
Trump's making the fries.
Exactly. If you want to live in Virginia, I would recommend going to the western part, like basically the 81 corridor is where it's still nice. We're getting a Buc-ee's. That's going to be nice.
We're getting a Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's, man. Buc-ee's is awesome. So
it is awesome. Good food too.
Well,
we should remind everybody we are also going to be doing the election stream on the 5th. We've got Carrie Smith. We're going to be doing it in conjunction with Comics Division. So we'll have a few guests popping in and out. I have reached out to a few other people. Brandon Morse from Red State will likely be there if he's not forced to live tweet and blog all night. He said he would be popping in. Not sure who else we have yet, but it'll be me, Chad, Comics Division. Slender Dad will be there at some point, and Carrie will be joining us for probably the majority of it. And hopefully we'll be able to go until we know who is the winner. I'm hoping that some of these states that we're keeping an eye on are able to make a call, before 2 a.m. And if some of those states fall early, or at least fall that night, then it's pretty much over. So I would love to see an election where we actually have a result on election night in a reasonable time, like we used to.
Isn't it? What is a Buc-ee's, Jeff? Oh, you got to look that up. It's the greatest. It's like
Buc-ee's
a Walmart of gas stations.
Yeah, it's like a gas station that has it's gigantic. They've got great barbecue. They've got some of their own food line and stuff, and they have all kinds of souvenirs, and just the things are massive. I mean, they're like truck stops on steroids.
Yep. And to speak to Eric. Yeah, a round table of us guys talking over news feeds. Pretty much, we'll be probably checking in on where we can get the best. Because I'm starting to feel quietly confident, right? So I'm getting that 2016 for me in 2016. It was, I think it could happen, but when it did, it was just like awesome watching. I still, it's a very vivid memory of in 2016 watching live feeds and just flipping back and forth amongst all the live feeds
Yeah.
of people melting down and people like, I
Watching the Young
remember
Turks go completely insane
I
throughout the
think
night.
was it Dean Kane was on, I think, with Crowder. I remember going from Crowder to the Daily Wire stuff, and just like everyone's like, when like he's winning Pennsylvania, and
Yeah.
they're like, and Shapiro like, what? No, he's winning. They haven't called it, but he's gonna win it.
Then you get to about midnight, and it's got Hillary at a 1% chance.
And then you like everyone, and I'm sure all the rest of us were like that too, because I was like, call goddamn Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, you assholes. It's been done forever. Like it's 99% reporting he's won it. There's no like, why aren't we calling this? And they were holding out on calling it forever.
But
Like,
that was before we saw results in an election that had a crazy check mark at 2 a.m. in the charts of how the election was being counted. So
I know, and
it was a simpler time. It
it
was a better
was,
time.
and just the two greatest post-election days I remember, and one was in 2004, not because I was the biggest W fan, but because they had spent so much effort in 2000 trying to get that one overturned, that the actual like mourning and just sadness in their faces in the mainstream media, like that W didn't just win, but he also won the popular vote.
Yeah.
It was just sad. And then in 2016, obviously the catharsis where they're, I just I love the montage of the Young Turks. Yeah, the meltdown was fantastic. Where you got Cenk like he's gonna win. Yeah, man, Hillary could win Kentucky because he got like when they did the 1% reporting and it showed Hillary up a little bit, and he's like, I was like, do you even know how that works, Cenk? Like you're being an idiot. Like with saying that Hillary's gonna win Kentucky,
and then just throughout the night, just every time another state was called for Trump, they just collapsed. I mean, they went more and more crazy through the whole evening. If you've never watched the Young Turks 2016 meltdown, it's worth watching. It always brings me joy every time I watch it.
I'm a little wondering about if Anna is going to secretly be like, yeah, I'm not so broken up about it.
Well,
she's on a journey. She's on the Carrie Smith.
She's on the walk away.
Yep.
Yep, we got a
Rumble
$2
rant.
Rumble rant from Pinochet's helicopter tours. Got my updated long-term care today in Massachusetts of all states, just in time for the Second American Civil War. Strap in, folks. I believe that's what he's meaning, LTC. Long-term care?
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah. Limited time contract?
That's what LTC is in my world, in the insurance world.
It might be a limited contract, like if you had a contract job, maybe.
License to carry. Okay.
Oh, license to carry.
That makes more sense.
Good for you for managing to get that in Massachusetts. Except, you know what? The story out of Massachusetts where that protester like rushed the guy. There was a pro-Palestinian protester and a pro-Israel protest going on.
Yeah.
The pro-Palestinian guy ran across the street and tackled the pro-Israeli protester and was like proceeding to try to beat him. The pro-Israeli protester in Massachusetts had a license to carry and had his handgun, so he drew it and shot the guy who was assaulting him. And so they immediately arrested the guy who shot to defend himself.
Yeah. I mean, without fail, they do that.
Yeah. I think hopefully the right thinking. Massachusetts is a weird. I was originally born in Massachusetts, have family there. It's the weirdest concoction of like working class, just like salt of the earth people who, because of ingrained like union and democratic values, just keep voting that way. But when you listen to them, you're like, you don't sound like you actually support any of this stuff. No, I do. No, you really don't sound like you do. And then so there you go.
And $1 over on Rumble from Deeple101. Remember to hit the like button. Yes, we would appreciate that. And hopefully we get a quick valuation from YouTube in the next week, and we'll have everything set for election night as a newly monetized channel. So tomorrow should be the watch hours completed. So thank you all for helping us get there, and thank you all for being here. Chad, what do you got coming up this week?
Well, we got our Tuesday night gaming stream that we'll be doing. I think we might be doing some spooky stuff for spooky season. I know that on the sub channel we have Ascendant Arcade that my co-host Slender Dad runs. We've been doing a lot of recording, and he's been putting up content. We've been playing Phasmophobia, and a lot of good stuff like that. So check that channel out. And then we've got our normal Ascendant Art podcast Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a good place to come hang out, enjoy end of the week kind of fun times. Brahma's usually there if he's not watching the Avs having a home game.
Yeah, I should be back this week, I think.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be one that and if you guys want to come and like and subscribe to that channel too, we're trying to get the numbers up there. Brahma's in a good spot to try to get his monetization. We'd like to eventually try to do that too. So if you can share it out.
Eric Myers has the channel spelled correctly. So go to Ascendant Art, give them a sub, because you're close on the watch hours. You just need sub count.
Yep. Yes, sir. We get good watch hours because we got a good loyal fan base that watches the show, because we do a 2-3 hour weekly show, and it works.
Friday nights, it's a collage of things that we discuss on Friday nights, and then sometimes we do the music trivia, which is fun. So
and
Pinochet for another $5. If you use a firearm in Massachusetts, you can expect to be arrested. It's a given. What is more egregious is that they charged the pro-Israel guy with violating the civil rights of the pro-Palestinian guy. Unreal. Indeed, unreal.
Which is ridiculous. They're both I mean, it's the prosecutors probably if I had to guess, a certain funded group. Soros.
I'll say it.
Yeah. There you go. I just didn't want it. You're close to monetization. I didn't want to just do it.
Well, we're not monetized yet.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, even once I get monetized, it's not ad money. It's memberships and super chats until we get to 1,000 subs. So there's no ad revenue that's going to be coming in.
We got a good picture to end on.
Okay.
He's doing it.
He's there. That's an actual picture of right now.
Allegedly. So
nice.
That cook is I mean, from what it seems like, the guy who said this is how you do fries is pretty much correct. You put the bag in, you do that. He's
put it in the fryer, put it in the oil, hit the button.
He's doing the part where he's taking it out and draining it before
don't forget to put the salt on.
Yeah, he's about to just knock it into the warming bin and then put the salt on it, man. By the way, pro tip: if you want hot fries from McDonald's, say no salt.
And so they add the salt yourself.
Yeah, they'll have to make a batch just for you, because if you've ever seen the guys making it, they just take that salt shaker and just dump it. So the only way to make a no salt batch is to just do a fresh one on its own.
Sounds like your dog's upset.
Yep.
Real quick, and then we'll finish. Soul Assassin's asking, how was Godsmack? Went and saw Godsmack on Thursday night, and yeah, it was great. They may have lost a little step. I mean, it's been 30 years since the band formed, so in the 90s, but they still got some energy. Maybe a little bit slower, maybe not as hard as they used to be. Sully seems to have a little bit of a soft spot compared to his former very Boston kind of persona, but they were fantastic. What they did was they played one song from their most recent album, one song from the album before that, and just kept going back until they got to all the hits that they had back in the 90s. So it was a good show. We enjoyed it. And that was the first time I had been to the new Ford Amphitheater here in town. So outdoor show. It was freezing, but it was good. We had fun. You got something else to share real quick?
No, well, I got it was real. They've got the actual footage of him doing it now. So if you want to, we can share.
We can bring it up real quick. Pinochet's helicopter tours for another $1. I think he meant I loved Godsmack, first band I met many, many times. Yeah, Sully seems like a very interesting character. He's one of the most foul-mouthed rockers I've ever seen live, and I've seen him 3 or 4 times. But he cut down his F-bombs in this most recent show. There were still plenty of them, but like I was saying on a few of the other shows, he used to be able to throw the F-bomb in between syllables of words, like multiple times. And now he's calmed down a little bit. But all right, let's watch Trump make some fries, and then we'll get out of here.
Yep. Come on.
Uh-oh, we've got the Twitter circle.
I mean,
you may have to just refresh.
Yeah, let's do that.
We're gonna break it now.
I like it all. I like every ounce of it, everything. But I do like the French fries where I'll be working.
Where I'll be working.
I listened to Kamala. She said it was so hot. It was so hot. It was such a tough job. But then you have a man that's been doing it for many years with the French fries, right?
I want to learn everything.
I'm going to learn how to do it right now. Thank you.
Welcome here.
We're going to learn how to do it right now.
Yeah. I mean, I just appreciate like the fact that he's slipping the knife in between the ribs. Like he's just like,
yeah. Well, there's no proof you ever worked at McDonald's, but there is for me. I'm going to show you the basics.
Come here, look at this. This is why I love Trump. No traditional politician would ever be like, you know that McDonald's story? Let's just smack her in the face with it. I want to work at a McDonald's.
We need a lot of fries, so we're going to do multiple batches.
Yeah.
Then hit the timer.
Okay, that's exactly what the guy said. You put it in the basket, put it in the oil, and hit the timer.
Yep. We wait till the timer beeps. We take it out. We dump them. We put salt.
I mean, if you're an actual McDonald's like corporate chef who develops things, you got to know better than to try to be like, this is complicated.
Well, if you're a corporate chef for McDonald's and you're in your 50s or 60s,
yeah.
I mean, at some point you've got to realize we hire high schoolers to do this job.
Yep. Which is why I hate the minimum wage argument. Minimum wage is supposed to be for generally high school or super low skilled. It's not a, I'm going to support my family of 4 on that wage job.
Yep.
Do you think this is the highlight of this kid's life right here?
Oh,
he's going to go home and he's going to be like, I taught President Trump how to make fries at McDonald's.
What'd you do today? I taught Trump how to cook fries.
He's just, this is why I love Trump. You would never see a Romney being able to pull that off.
Yeah. Boosh. Psst, Trump understands. He just wants to watch the expert do it.
Oh yeah, it's so great. It'd be interesting to see if Kamala, because she's such an expert. I doubt the fry making operation has changed drastically since she allegedly was doing it.
It's a deep fryer.
Yeah,
nothing has changed about the deep fryer in a long, long time.
Yeah, to see if she would even be able to do it. Anyway, so yeah, that's a great way to end it. It's a great white pill. Let's get out there. Let's get out there so we can get more Trump fries.
Trump fries for everybody.
Trump fries for everybody.
All right, everybody. We will catch you next time. Here is the intro as an outro. Have a good week.
Bye, everybody.
Broken system chained and tangled up in lies. Voices shouting, screaming in defeat. Politicians playing games under darkened skies. Hope lost in the dust of the street. Red and blue, colors pouring from the sky. Debates turn to anger, the crowd gets loud. Punches drowning in